right, here we go. Should be live. Let's get a quick mic check, audio check. That's the same thing actually, and video and all that too. I want to give a quick shout out to. Hang on, I need to get his name because this was a really cool comment. Mark Lamb. What's up, Hefner? Wear the jacket, please. I don't know if this counts as the Hefner jacket, but it's got the studs. Can you even see the studs? So, yeah, I guess Dubai caught up to me. Or I caught up to Dubai. Anyway, here we go. We've got a good video today. It looks like things are really heating up for this market. I think this is going to really excite you guys because what we've seen with Bitcoin over here is that typical rejection that I mentioned is still entirely possible. Now, I keep on saying that the more we test this level, the more likely I think we are to break it, but it's still resistance, and resistance is where I would expect the price to start dropping. However, we're doing really well in light of that, in my opinion. You know, the last time that we ended up topping out at this level, Bitcoin got sent very low very, very quickly, right? And to put this into perspective, you know, we hit the high here, and within 6 hours we were down by 13%, you know, and now let's see what happens 6 hours today. You know, 6 hours later we dropped by only 6%. So our rejection this time, and this is really important, so we're starting off getting, you know, jumping straight into the deep end over here. The rejection that we saw today compared to what we saw at the end of January, today it was a lot less harsh. It first of all, we've dumped a lot slower, and second of all, the intensity has been a lot lower as well, which basically means the same thing, which is to say that the bears have gotten weaker upon a second test of this resistance level. And ladies and gents, if the bears are getting weaker, that's usually a pretty good indication that we could be looking at rising on upwards relatively soon. Again, the last time that we kind of, you know, dropped out of this level, just to, you know, again, to put it into perspective, you know, we set the high over here, and it was within 7 hours we dropped by 11%. So we really are doing very, very well with this formation that we're seeing today. Shout out to StuTube Trading, by the way. He's in the chat today. This guy joined VIP, and it's been, I think, like 4 days. Correct me if I'm wrong. And you've already paid off the fee. My assistant has forwarded your special message to me and your request, and I am aware of it. I'll get back to you soon. I've been running around today, but really, really cool to see you in the chat today. Welcome. But you know, what we do have here is previously the dumps were pretty strong. Again, obviously this one was very, very strong, but now the intensity is definitely getting weaker. And this is something that you just wouldn't be aware of if... What is F2 pool? Everyone's asking me to look at this. Yeah, I'm correct about that. So you've been in VIP for 2 days and 4 days and already paid off the cost. It's amazing. And he paid off the cost trading Ethereum, which I will obviously talk to you guys about in just a bit. But anyway, I want to keep it focused for now. You know, this is something that you wouldn't really notice at first. This is something that, you know, you wouldn't really take note of if you didn't know what to look for. But we definitely have a situation here where even though we are getting a rejection, this rejection is not as harsh as the rejections we got before. And so this is like, you know, before you, it's like, you know, if you're in a moving car and you're accelerating in the car, before you can stop, before you can come to a complete stop, you need to first stop accelerating, which is to say that we're not breaking out yet. So we're not doing the thing we want to do, but we're doing the thing that needs to happen before we can break out, which is showing us that the bears are getting weaker, in my opinion. And so this is really, really cool. It's a much nicer jacket. Thank you very much. I'm glad you like it. By the way, guys, if we can shoot up those likes, would really appreciate that. We had issues with YouTube viewership yesterday, and actually I found out that a lot of YouTubers are being kind of shadow banned. There's too many live streams, things like that. So if you do hit up the like button, that does help the channel a bit, if that's something you care about. And of course, it would be very nice for me. Unfortunately, this isn't going to be a 2-hour live stream for me today. I'm going to be ending it around the 1 hour mark, but not important for now. We are getting this rejection, and it's coming on cue, nothing unexpected here. We are finding some support, which is nice. You know, if I show you some horizontal levels where we bounce stuff at, there is some, you know, these are some areas to potentially find some support, and that's what we're doing. Again, you know, I mean, you can draw these lines anywhere and they would look like they make sense, but it's nice that we are finding, you know, little support bumps on our way down, and I would expect it to end around over here, around the $35,000 level for Bitcoin. You know, if we go any lower than 34.7, that's where I start to get very confused. Sorry, very upset and not confused. What is the correct word? Concerned. That's what I meant to say. Thank you for smashing the likes up, Sade. Appreciate that very much. I hope I said your name correctly. And so, you know, I'd be expecting support around over here. Because we are showing bullish tendencies in the market, I actually don't think that we're going to dip below this level. And if we do, I think we'll probably just dip down very quickly and then correct on upwards quite fast as well. So I'm actually quite optimistic about the trend right here. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we ended up, you know, reversing up now. And I think something similar will probably apply to Ethereum. Ethereum moving really, really nicely. When I mentioned in the last live stream to you guys, it happened perfectly on Q. Actually, this also happened perfectly on Q. I live streamed when Bitcoin was right over here, and I said that there is a very, very high chance that we'll go up into this box. And you guys heard me saying that. I even gave you the example of, you know, this move was about a 3% gain for Bitcoin, 3% traded on 10 times leverage. That is a 30% profit. So obviously, I'm not expecting you guys to have traded that because I'm not your financial advisor, so you shouldn't be listening to me. However, you know, I do want to give a shout out to anybody who did seize opportunities in the market like this, because this was very easy to see coming. That's why I'm in a trade for this right now, and I'm already in something like 40% profit, maybe even a little bit higher. I got a question about Visa and bank news. Good question. I will get to that later on. But, you know, we did end up carrying on upwards to the top of this channel. And again, just a little bit of hindsight analysis. It's important to touch on this. It's really, really important, I think, to be aware of these types of things, because if we are, you know, leaving, you know, entering what I would call a vacuum, which is everything that happens between these two green boxes, in my opinion, then we do usually just teleport from one of these levels up to the next one. And, you know, those of you who've been subscribed for a long time now, you will have seen that a lot of my analysis is about, you know, entering vacuums like this and basically teleporting from one box to another box. I give you analysis like this all the time, and it's shockingly accurate. You know, it happened beautifully over here. I said that if we rise above this green box, we'll probably rise to this one. Again, I said the same thing over here, and we've done it perfectly. You know, these things are not coincidences. These gaps between these green boxes are called low liquidity zones, and we usually gravitate towards high liquidity zones. And that means there is basically more money that wants to be traded here, more money that wants to be traded here, and less over here. The price just isn't interesting over here. And so it generally doesn't tend to do much. It just kind of jumps from one of these boxes to the other. And when you're aware of these kind of things, you can start trading them, you know. So this is something obviously that I was very aware of with Bitcoin, but I wanted to trade it on Ethereum instead, which ended up working out much better for me because Ethereum actually doubled the gain of Bitcoin, but it's not losing as much as Bitcoin is. So if I show you this on the Ethereum BTC chart, we can see that yesterday, 3rd of February, Ethereum gained a lot of traction against Bitcoin, and it hasn't lost any of it, right? And so it's performing very, very well in this market right now. So trading Ethereum definitely turned out to be the best choice for me over here in a very, very nice profit. And as usual, VIP members saw exactly how I traded that. So here's a message I got from a member just about 2-3 weeks ago, pulling another triple-digit trade, mentioning that he made a bunch more profitable trades in the past month, but they weren't triple-digit gains, and so he didn't feel like it was worthy to send to me. And again, when I talk about problems that VIP members have, I love it. You know, this guy, he's ashamed, he's disappointed of a £4,000 profit, and then he's making it again, and again he's disappointed that he didn't make, I don't think he's disappointed here actually. But he could have made 8,000. At first, he was disappointed with this gain. This guy, you know, his problems are that he doesn't feel like his triple-digit gains are high enough. So this is the kind of energy we're carrying through in VIP. VIP members saw how I pulled this beautiful profit on Ethereum. And if you want to continue to see how I trade in real time all the time, I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing, where I'm doing it, give you all the exact levels of where I'm entering, taking profits, different things like that. Then the steps to join are on screen right now. Click on the first link in the description down below, and then click on the @FORFLIES button and then click on send message. Once again, experience is not important to join VIP. Obviously, it's better if you're experienced in trading, but we have a lot of beginners and we have content tailored for you guys so that you understand what's going on. This person's screenshot is somebody who just joined us with our yearly plan, I don't know, one or 2 weeks ago, and this is her first ever trade. Her first ever trade, she pulled a very small $26 but 25% profit. So the position size is not important. The fact that she actually pulled this off, she pressed the numbers correctly, it was her first attempt ever, this is what's impressive. So you know, whether you're a beginner or you're advanced, there is content for you inside of VIP, and we can tell you about it if you follow these steps on screen. But moving back to, and so you can pause this and send me a message and then come back to the live stream. But Andrej asking me how much does it cost? Reach out following these steps, we'll give you all the details because our prices have just changed. I see your messages, by the way. Just one person just reached out, so my assistant, he'll be here in about, I think, an hour, and he'll get back to you. Moving back to the chart here though, Ethereum moving very, very nicely, and you know, as predicted, we've ended up topping out above 1700, so that was very, very nice to see. Obviously quite easy to predict because Ethereum right now is in blue sky breakout territory. There is no resistance for Ethereum right here, and this is the same thing I mentioned yesterday where someone asked me, do I think Ethereum is going to pull back? And I mentioned that I would always like it to, and I mentioned that actually it would make most sense if we pulled back to this area, and look at this, ladies and gents, that's exactly where we pulled back to. And actually very, very accurately, I mentioned that somebody asked me, so if Ethereum is topping out at 1650, which was around over here, you know, look at the Fibonacci levels. This is the request that somebody had for me, and to show you what that looked like, I think I drew it from here. To show you what that looked like, we had a beautiful area of Fibonacci support right here at the top of this range, and look at how close Ethereum bounced off that level from. I mean, it came down to this level within a margin of 0.8%, and then this is where we got the big bounce. So hopefully Ethereum entering something like a bullish sideways consolidation pattern now, while Bitcoin, you know, drops or whatever, it doesn't really matter, and then it blows up again. I think that would make a lot of sense. I do think now that Ethereum has had a few measured rises up over the past couple of days. If we look at this starting from the 1st of February, we had one leg up, one consolidation, 2, 3, 4, maybe this is all 4 actually, and we're in the 5th one right now. So I think, you know, with 4 consolidation patterns right here, 4 continuation patterns, those of you who don't know what a continuation pattern is, basically it's where you know, the price ends up going up, and then we form some sort of staircase pattern, or we trade sideways, we do whatever, and then we end up taking the next leg up. And what happens in between this section, this is what's called a continuation pattern. The trend is continuing upwards, and it forms a pattern like this in order to continue upwards. So this to me looks like we could be in yet another one right now on Ethereum, potentially similar for Bitcoin as well, but it doesn't look so good on Bitcoin, unfortunately. And if this is the case and Ethereum is actually in another continuation pattern, then just going off the fact that we've already had 4 within this trend just in the past 4 days, I do think that there's a decent possibility that this one will be a little bit longer term. You know, this one, I think it would make sense if this goes on for another 2 days, you know, one to 3 days, I think would make a lot of sense. I think that would be enough time for this trend to cool off. And then, of course, with that kind of, you know, continuation pattern, that kind of break in the trend, I think that's going to give it a really nice chance to rise up very, very nicely upon a breakout. So, you know, going up to that $2,000 psychological resistance area. Because, you know, what we got to keep in mind for Ethereum right now, ladies and gents, is that it doesn't really have any resistance anymore, like at all. You know, its only resistance that it has now is here, you know, at the previous all-time high, but we set this all-time high like today technically. You know, it was only what, like 20 hours ago or something that we, less than that, it was like 16 hours ago that we set the all-time high, you know. So it's pretty fresh and it's pretty easy to beat it in light of that. And so I think it should be pretty straightforward for Ethereum to rise above these levels, and I don't think that there's much of a bearish sentiment in the market right now. Somebody asked me a very good question earlier on, shout out to this guy, which asked me, you know, what are my opinions on the Visa news and the bank news. So I don't actually know about the bank news, but I do know about the Visa news. And for those of you who don't know, they're basically integrating ways for, is it people to buy Bitcoin or some sort of integration with cryptocurrency? And, you know, it really sounds like the stage of, if you can't beat them, then join them. And obviously these are legacy These are legacy payment processes and things like that, which means they're old, they're outdated now. Obviously, crypto, sometimes can work better than the mainstream payment processing facilities that we have already. And so, now they're trying to adapt and stay relevant. And look, I think it's obviously bullish. The more adoption there is, the more people are going to see it, the more people are going to want to buy it. Because right now, it's a very sexy time to be a Bitcoin trader and a Bitcoin investor. That's very, very clear to me at the moment. It's just surpassed $20,000, and no one thought it would, right, for a long time. Or of course you guys probably did, but the majority of people, especially the public that have never bought Bitcoin, they didn't think it would ever happen, and it did, and it more than doubled it. And so it is a very, very exciting time to be a Bitcoin trader right now, to be a Bitcoin investor. And on top of that, you just throw on headlines that just kind of add awareness to the market. And of course, I think it's hugely bullish. It can only be a good thing in my opinion. And so again, we go back to coins like Ethereum, and this is exactly why I don't think that it has any real reason to crash lower at the moment, other than just, like a healthy retracement. But hopefully we just kind of go sideways, because Ethereum, it hasn't really it's been having more, bullish continuation patterns. Look, this was an ascending triangle, stuff like that. We did get big dips, don't get me wrong. However, I don't think that we're there yet. I think we have some more room to rise before we get that kind of dip, because, we look at things like the news, we look at things like the technical trend, and there's just less reason to expect resistance. Very little reason, in my opinion, to expect resistance on the on the Ethereum chart. And yeah, I mean, there is resistance on Bitcoin right now, definitely. I can't ignore that. However, it's also moving very, very well, in my opinion. And, like I said, for those of you just tuning in now, I did mention very clearly in the last live stream when we were trading right here that I think there's a very high chance Bitcoin will end up trading over here. And I even mentioned that trading this would have been a 30% profit on 10 times leverage, which ended up being exactly what was possible. Obviously, again, I'm not your financial advisor, so it's a good thing that you didn't trade that. But what I'm doing here, my job here essentially, is to point out to you where these opportunities are, and where I think that just shine a light on these possibilities. And of course, for those of you who don't know where to trade, I'm making these trades on Phemex. I have 3 key exchanges I use, and this is one of them. If you don't already have an exchange, if you don't know where to trade Bitcoin or how to trade Bitcoin, I use the Phemex platform, and I also have a tutorial on how to use Phemex, which you can find by pausing the live stream now, typing this into YouTube, and then you can go ahead and watch my tutorial. There is a link to Phemex in the description down below, which is exactly where you can sign up and get a trading bonus as well following my link. It helps the channel, and it gives you some free money to play with, get to know the buttons and things like that on the exchange while you watch my amazing tutorial on it. And hopefully that will bring you up to speed with how to use the platform, and you can trade alongside me there as well. So obviously I think that that's a great opportunity. If you're in the US and different things like that, you will need a VPN, and I can't endorse that, so I can't tell you if it's worth doing that at all. Someone here is mentioning that they didn't get my live notification. Nick, a lot of people didn't get the notification that I went live yesterday, and this is one of the key reasons that I tell you guys to join FORFLIES Gold with the first link in the description, because notifications will never fail being sent. There will never be a failed notification send off on Telegram. And so this is an app that you can even download onto your phone. And if you don't have it already, by the way, you're missing out. Like nearly every crypto trader that has some good knowledge is on Telegram. And so even if it's not for my channel, it's just a good place to meet other traders. And usually I don't think that's a good idea, and I actually talk about it inside of the course, inside of the FORFLIES Academy, for why it might not be a good idea to talk to other traders. And basically, to make a long story short, it's because other traders are stupid and they'll make you stupid. But it's definitely the place to be, and you will never miss a notification if you're in FORFLIES Gold. So definitely join up. It's the place to be. We give you free analysis in there. I also tell you other things like occasionally the trades I'm making and things like that. So there is a lot of extra value in gold, completely free. Just follow the first link in the description. yeah, that will help you avoid this problem of you know, missing live streams, because you know, I just jump straight into the content with these live streams. So those of you, I think there's like 60% of you who tuned in late, you did miss some critical information, and I'd actually say you should probably rewind the live stream just to make sure you catch that. But yeah, right here, you know, I think Ethereum's already kind of doing what I mentioned I want it to do, which is just kind of hopefully trading sideways in this kind of range for a couple of days. You know, push until the 6th of Feb, I think is a pretty safe range for Ethereum. I would be very, very happy with that. And I think that right now it's moving very, very well. Guys, as usual, as I go along, please drop your comments in, questions in the comment section, and tag me with @FORFLIES in the comments, so that every time you do this, it highlights my name in orange, and then I know that you're actually you know, asking me a question. So please do that. And if we haven't already, please also smash up the likes. I mentioned earlier on that we're having some issues with YouTube not delivering notifications, and by you pressing the like button, we can make sure that you know, subscribers of this channel actually see this live stream, and obviously that helps me out. So if you're gaining anything from this video, you want to help me out a little bit in return, all you have to do is hit the like button, and that's enough for me. I'll start going through your questions in a bit, but I want to finish my core analysis and mention some of the key things I was talking about. I want to outline the possibility of something bad happening to Bitcoin. Obviously, it's entirely possible that this is a big dump that ends up taking us very, very low. You know, point is this, we responded very weakly to this resistance level again. I wouldn't expect that to happen again, but clearly the market is a little bit irrational right now. If it did happen, then, and I kept on saying this about this support level as well, I don't expect this support level to hold. And so if we test it again, I think we're going very low, and just the fact that we've now rallied up quite high, I think it could mean that a potential crash could take us very, very low, you know, down to levels like 24,000. I don't think we'll go down to 20,000. I think that's too good to be true, although if we did, I would cream myself and I would buy as much as I possibly could. I would sell everything I own and buy Bitcoin at that stage, because I just think it's such a beautiful entry. However, you know, if we do get some big dumps now, I think it could just turn out to be a massive waterfall sell-off, kind of like this one here. I do think that there is the potential for this in the market right now. I think the risk is very small, and I'm in a long position right now, so I'm not even worried about it. Got a question about XRP. I'm going to get to that later on in this stream. My analyst specifically wanted me to look at that. But, you know, if we do end up getting a big dump like this, I think it could take us very, very low now, just seeing how we have rallied up. That usually means that, you know, if this did turn out to be, if we did end up dumping, then that means all of this was just a relief rally. And if it's a relief rally, it means that the real trend, which is down, and, you know, midterm it is still down, it could get very, very ugly. And so that's definitely something that I want to, yes, even the car, I would even sell the car to buy Bitcoin at this level, 100%. That would be an easy choice, because then I'd just buy 2 of them afterwards, because I think Bitcoin would double. And so obviously I think that yeah, you know, these are some beautiful levels to buy Bitcoin at each of these green lines. And you know, more so I think this line would make a little bit more sense, but I don't want to spend too much time talking about that, because realistically I think that we are in a bullish trend. I think we're about to resume it and set all-time highs. You know, guys, I want to put it in perspective. We set the all-time high on the 8th of January, and it's now been 27 days, you know, like a 30-day, 1-month period of consolidation, 1-month period of continuation pattern right here. I think that's enough, honestly, and that's enough to send the market higher. If we, you know, look at other charts like the Bitstamp chart, for example, where I've already demonstrated to you, you know, what previous continuation patterns have looked like. There's a lot of lines here. I don't think I need any of these. Let me delete them. You know, previous continuation patterns, they've lasted, you know, kind of similar time frames to this. Here, look, we topped out over here, and then we set the new all-time high 38 days later, and we set the low 34 days later. So we're only about a week away from having a similar time frame to this correction. Like this correction over here, we saw the worst of it after 13 days, and we set a new all-time high after 39, 40 days. And so, you know, we're right around the area now where I would start to expect Bitcoin to breach the all-time high in terms of time frame analysis. And we already know right now that Bitcoin has followed very, very similar characteristics to a lot of the market previously in 2017, 2016. And so just in keeping with that, if this continues to be the case for Bitcoin now, then I definitely think that this could turn out to be just a small little blip, a small correction until the price continues skyrocketing upwards. And you guys know that my main next target for Bitcoin is $50,000, purely because it is a round psychological number. So a lot of people asking me to look at Ethereum. I've already covered it just like a few minutes ago, so please rewind the live stream if you haven't already seen it. But the same thing applies for Ethereum in my opinion. I think that it could have a very easy rise up to $2,000. It's not far away from it right now. This is something very important to keep in mind, ladies and gents, because it's not going to be difficult in my opinion for Ethereum to rise up to this level. It only needs to go up by another 21% from where it is right now, and from its all-time high that we set about 16 hours ago, it only needs to rise up by 18%. You know, and to put this into perspective, from this breakout point, this red line that I mentioned Ethereum would probably break out from, it's already risen by 18%. So it only needs to do this move one more time in order to reach that $2,000 level. That's super achievable in my opinion. Very achievable. It's because of this that I entered my long position. It's because of this that the day before we pumped out, I said that I think there's a high possibility of it happening. Obviously that analysis was spot on. Then I entered a long trade somewhere around over here. Just been writing it up very nicely on 7 times leverage. Right now, where it's priced at right now, it must be something like 50% profit. So I'm very happy about that. And as usual, if you want to see exactly how I'm trading, you want to jump into VIP. Look at this guy making a couple more trades, a couple more profitable trades in one afternoon. Feeling a little bit more risky on the way back down, but still nonetheless sticking to his plan and making very nice profits. Just 1K profit here locked in over a month. Of wages in 2 days. I mean, that is just absolutely amazing. 0.15 BTC up on the day is more than he paid to join VIP, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 100% sure about that actually. And so he's just paid off his VIP right there, just like that, in the space of 2 days in one day of trading. So in an afternoon of trading across 2 days. I don't know how that works out. I think he made these profits in the afternoon, but he entered the trade 2 days ago. So very cool message to be receiving there. And once again, if you want to jump into the action and see what you've been missing out on, then you can join VIP by following these steps on screen. We've been absolutely popping off. Where are we at right now? Yeah, so we're at nearly 950 members. I think in December we just hit 800 members. So it's been growing like wildfire, and the profitable messages, they just keep on coming in. Let me see if I can get you one of the new ones, because there was one that was really impressive. I want to see if I can highlight this to you in the live stream. Here's a cool one actually. Let's show you this one. Actually, I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to replace a different screenshot. I've already shown you this one quite a few times. Let's highlight this one for you. This one was very cool. Amazing feeling. This person learned how to recognize patterns, and now he gets a gut feeling as well before he opens a trade. So again, this is a beginner. This is just like this person who, you know, this person who joined VIP, she had never traded before. In this way, she didn't know what the buttons did, stuff like that, still pulling a nice percentage profit. This guy over here, similar situation, new to trading, he's learning to recognize patterns now. He couldn't see them before, and he even gets gut feelings about it. So he's gained in this trade half of his monthly salary in one day, and now he doesn't think that it's a bad decision by joining the VIP group. So there you go, absolutely beautiful. This is an 88% profit that this person made inside of VIP within a short period of time, in one day, making half of his monthly salary. Now, I have to make it clear, this is obviously not typical. Not everybody is doing this, but a lot are, and a lot of it is down to you. We give you everything you need in order to be able to pull results like this. But one of the key things is, if you're a gambler and that's, you know, and it's making you lose money in this market, then we can't help you fix that. You know, a gambler can only fix it by looking internally and kicking this stupid addiction away, because I know that, and I was there. But these people who are switched on and ready to learn and ready to take advantage of everything we have in the group, those gaining access into VIP with our course as well, and obviously all VIP members get our Trade Insane package completely free of charge as well, which is another course that we released. You know, if you want access to all of that and see how these people have been able to pull off these results, then the steps are on screen for you to finally get in on that action right there. But let's switch it back to Ethereum right now. See what other core analysis I had before I take it over to your questions, because I see a lot of questions in the chat right now. I'm going to start from the top as usual, so I can make sure that I reply to as many people as possible. That's some of the core stuff, so I'll get back to the rest of the core analysis later on. Guys, once again, we're at 1,000 viewers, so I think it's worked. I've been asking you guys to like the live stream, and I think it is helping YouTube to promote the video to more viewers of this channel, to more subscribers. So if you haven't already liked the video and you've learned anything, you found anything at all useful, please do that. Please also subscribe if you haven't already, and that will make sure that you don't miss out on this content. And I am going to start going through your questions from the top now. Like I said, I'm not going to be around for too long. I'm only going to be doing this live stream for the next 30 minutes or so. So let's make sure that it's a good last 30 minutes. And I'm enjoying it so far. I hope you guys are as well. I'll start with your questions from the top as usual. Like I said, I don't want to miss anything. Brian, FORFLIES, hope you're well. Do you think this is a small head and shoulders on BTC and ETH on the 30-minute and 1 hour with a retest? So Brian is asking on the 1 hour time, in fact on the 30-minute time frame, do I think we're seeing a head and shoulders? And that might look like this. No, I don't. Simple answer, no. Maybe you mean something like this. That would be possible. Yes, I think that would be possible, but too early to say because we haven't formed the head yet. That's typically a bearish pattern, so I think that's why Brian's a little bit concerned about it. Next question. FORFLIES, doesn't it make sense to just completely ignore the Musk breakout when doing technical analysis? Oh, that's a very good question. It had more impact on Ethereum than Bitcoin, but both returned to previous states within 24 hours. CJ, this is down to the analyst and your own preferences. By the way, I see all of your messages about VIP. Like I said, my assistant will be here in the next half an hour or so, and he'll give you the information on VIP. But I'll just leave it here for those of you who need the steps. It'll take you less than 30 seconds. You can do it while you're listening to me. But yeah, it's a good question, CJ, and it depends on your approach to technical analysis. I personally, I don't remove analysis from I don't remove price action from my analysis. There are anomalies sometimes, but I think there's something we can learn from this, because bottom line, CJ, whether or not, you know, it was just a Musk breakout and it was a fake out or anything like that, there is a clear trend here where we did get rejected, and there was steam for this trend to go a lot higher. So I wouldn't want to ignore this. And yes, it did return to its previous state within 24 hours, but I think that only tells us something about how aggressive the sellers were, you know? So I think there is still analysis you can pull from this. It does still tell you that if we dump down so quickly, the sellers were very, very strong, and now they're comparatively a lot weaker. And so it actually helps us tell a story for what's happening right now and then predict what might happen next, because if the sell-offs are getting weaker, then it might mean we're ready to break the resistance. And you guys already know, if we break this resistance level, if we go above this green box, then, you know, as I said earlier on in this live stream, shout out to you guys who've been tuning in since the very beginning. You know, I mentioned that I see these boxes as high liquidity zones, basically where the price wants to go, and any of these gaps I see as basically vacuums, empty vacuums. You know, we'll break above one, we'll go straight to the next, go straight to the next, then back down to the other box, right? I think this is how I usually see these kind of boxes. And, you know, it's not just on Bitcoin that this analysis has been extremely accurate, but if I switch over to Cardano for a minute, you guys are very familiar with my analysis on Cardano, where I had these two green lines which represented exactly the same thing. I mentioned over here that over here I mentioned that this is the second time Cardano is testing the same level, so I think it's going to break out, and if it does break out, I think it's going to go all the way up here, and it did, you know. And again, I need to put this into perspective for you. This is impressive alone, but when you consider how big this rise was, it was a 16% rise. This is a really, really big rise in the market, which I was 100% correct about just by understanding where these vacuums are in price action. And then the next thing I mentioned is that we'll probably, if we dump below this line, we'll probably come down to this line, and we did that, and then we pumped up to the next green line again. So this formed 1, 2, 3 beautiful trading opportunities here until it stopped being useful. And this is one of the key skills of being a good analyst, in my opinion, where you'll be able to spot these things, but then also know when you need to start ignoring them. Because if you get 3 times lucky, you know, the 4th time, I wouldn't bank on that too much. So you know, you need to know when to lay off, you need to know when to dial up the aggression too, and this kind of thing, it does just come with experience. But this is partly one of the key things that I aim to demonstrate inside of VIP, because I've learned these things, I've gotten the feel for these things inside of the market, and now you can see how I'm implementing that inside of VIP. I'm not trying to say that I'm an expert trader or anything like that. That's definitely not the case. I still fuck up all the time. It's completely normal. But the key is that I've already gone through these things. I've already spotted these patterns. I know what to be aware of, and I'm telling you about them as I trade. So you can not only see what I'm trading, but understand why I do the things I do as well. But once again, we take it back to the chart and back to your question specifically. I wouldn't discount this price action at all, because I think it's already telling us good stories about what might happen next. And if we do rise above this box, I think we're going straight to the next one as well. And I think that this pump, even though we return back to the same level within 24 hours, I think that it still tells us some very, very important things. So let's go on to the next question now. Best UK exchange site for a small investor and a new one. Davis, the UK has just banned your access to most leverage exchanges. I only use leverage. I'm only a leverage trader. So I mean, you can still access it, but the government says it's illegal now. So there's nothing, you know, like you don't have an option. If you want to trade spot, that means without leverage, then Coinbase is good, and that is still legal in the UK. I don't know, man. I think it's a fucking joke. It's partly why I left the country, and and I'm pretty happy with that. All right, on to the next question. FORFLIES, you didn't say anything wrong yesterday, by the way. You're just not allowed to say that a man shouldn't wear a skirt and go in front of a school, except for Scottish, of course. Okay, I don't want to dive into that right now, but that's a funny comment. FORFLIES, you did say it would pull back to 1570 to 1580 area. Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's exactly what happened, right? So 1570 to 1580, and where did we actually bottom out at? Yeah, perfect. Actually, a little bit lower than that. $10 lower. Bite me. It's okay. You know, I mean, this is pretty good. It was a good pullback. It was very accurate to what I mentioned might happen. And, you know, just the fact that we bounced off. So, look, there is some resistance that we established over here. So I would expect it to be support over here. But there was also equivalent support down here, you know, and I showed this to you with a Fibonacci retracement in the previous live stream. But just the fact that we bounced off the top level and not the bottom level will tell you a little something about where the strength is in the market. You know, bulls are readily willing to step into the market and buy Ethereum back up when it dips. And I think that does tell you something about what happens when we set all-time highs and why we probably, in my opinion, will just keep on rallying up. You know, like I said, as I speak to you right now, I'm in something like a 40 to 50% profit, and I expect it to go up into the triple-digit territory. You know, I entered at 1521. Which was right over here, and you know, I expect it to go, let's say, to 2000. Let's say I just exit the trade at 1900. I'm trading this on 7 times leverage, so a 25% price increase times 7 is big. I don't know what it is, but it's a big, what is it, like 300% profit, 200% profit. I think it's 200, right? It's a 3 times gain, right? And so, you know, this was a trade that I identified to be relatively low risk in my opinion, but with quite high reward, quite high upside, and I think that it's worked out very, very well. Michael Hill saying he loves this channel for TA. Thank you very much. I'm glad you like it. What else have we got in the comments? What do I think could be a new buy zone? Good question. So, you know, again, I think that this is a good, healthy area for Ethereum to pull back to. I think that this would also make a lot of sense, this red line. So this area is 1530. Everyone keeps asking me to say the price numbers. This area is 1530, and this red line is at 1450. So I think that those are some good potential bounce zones for Ethereum if we do end up going that low. However, we've already set a floor over here, and ideally we will hold this floor, and this floor right here is at 1560. So it could be that that's the floor. I wouldn't really ask those questions because I'm already in my position though. And then for Bitcoin, you know, I think it's very, very obvious. I think that this is a beautiful buy zone for Bitcoin right here. I think it's quite safe, all things considered. I'm not so convinced that this is the low for Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin can go lower, and so that is also something I'm keeping in my mind. Thoughts on ZOM? I've never heard of it. I can't give you thoughts on this. Can I check out Chainlink? Yes, sir, I can. Let's see what Chainlink is doing. Haven't looked at Chainlink for a long time. Basically, just consolidating sideways by the looks of it. Oh, it's forming a... Oh, okay. It's doing exactly the same thing that Ethereum was doing. Thank you. Who asked me to do this? Thank you, Andrew. This is very important, and thank you for bringing it to my attention. It's forming a rising wedge right now, and does it usually break out from rising wedges? Actually, no. This was a rising wedge, and it broke down. I'm looking for rising wedges specifically in uptrends. Okay, this was another rising wedge, and it broke up massively. What else do we have? So this, I'll put like an X here. I'll put a tick right here. What else? Are there other rising wedges? Overall, rising wedges don't seem to be very accurate for Link on this chart. However, it is... Oh, this is a big one. Look at this. This was a big rising wedge, and it ended up pumping straight out of it. A lot of rising wedges here. So Link definitely, yeah, look at that. Link does make relatively good use of these rising wedge patterns, and just the fact that it's happening above its all-time high at $20, its previous all-time high, I see this as a consolidation pattern within an uptrend, and so I think it looks pretty damn healthy to me. I wouldn't be surprised if actually right now, where it is right now, ends up being a good buy zone. Let's just draw a parallel channel to roughly show you, you know, that it is trading in a parallel channel right now, and I think that this kind of area would make a lot of sense for you know, buying Link. Well, actually not here, we're actually in the middle of it, but you know, along this blue line, which is about $22.90, something like that. I think that's a pretty healthy level. That seems to be a nice bounce area for Link, and I wouldn't be surprised if it just pumps straight out with this pattern now. So yeah, nice one to look at Link there. What are my thoughts on Litecoin? My God, everyone asked me to look at Litecoin. I don't really have thoughts on Litecoin because I haven't really traded it for years. But let's see. The reason I said my God is it's just so disappointing to me. You know, like I think it had so much potential to do so much better. And to be fair, this is pretty good though. I was very critical of it. My bad. It's done pretty well. Actually, it seems like it's risen a lot more than Bitcoin has from its low, up by 570%. And Bitcoin, what did Bitcoin rise by? 570%. Oh, okay, Bitcoin rose by 1000%. So, my bad. Litecoin's doing absolutely shit. So, I don't really have an interest in trading Litecoin, unfortunately. It's slow. It's a really slow coin. What do I think about the recent Xrp behavior? So, actually, we were talking about this in VIP. I think we were actually. Hang on, let me double check. Was I actually talking about this in VIP? No, my bad, I wasn't. I was talking about this internally with the team. Ripple right here. Let me just make sure I say the right things, because my analyst wanted me to look at this. Ripple right here, it has established a little bit of support if we zoom in at, I'm on the wrong chart, at 1000 Satoshis right here. This is a very, very nice support area that Ripple has formed. And so going below this level, I think could be a nice support, short trade for Ripple. If it ends up falling below 1000, I think it could dip all the way down to something like 900 and then even lower. You know, trading a move like that is roughly 10%, a 10% gap, and again on 10 times leverage that becomes a 100% profit, which is, you know, you would double your money. So looks good in that way to me. And let's see the dollar chart as well. It's pumping up. I don't know what you want me to say about this. It could be ready for round two. Round two could be a lot higher, or it could be a lot lower. It's kind of like messing around with a $5 prostitute and wondering if you're going to get a disease, you know, like sure, you might have a little bit of pleasure, but is it really worth it? And that's how I see XRP, unfortunately. So you guys go have your cheap fun, whatever. I'm sticking with the classy Bitcoin. Do I believe in the 4-year cycle? No, not really, although it does appear to be true. FORFLIES, are we in a large descending triangle with Bitcoin? Yeah, good question, Tony. I'm sorry, this is Ethereum. Yeah, Ethereum's also classy though, so that's fine. Are we in a large descending triangle? I don't think so, man. I mentioned this, I talked about this in the last live stream where we've basically, you know, like we had a lot of, like you would draw a descending triangle like this and then we broke out. You would redraw it like this and then we broke out. Redraw it like this and now like you've got 1 point here, 3 points here, 3 points validate a line. But still, I don't think we're in a, you know, look, the overall pattern is there. We are trading downwards overall, but I wouldn't say, you know, like you would have to redraw a descending triangle at least 5 times at this point, and that just makes it too unreliable in my opinion. Bitcoin put a higher high, did it? Yeah, it did. Technically it did, although this is much closer to a double top actually. So if we did end up kind of falling through support here, I would become very, very bearish because this, yeah, technically sure, we probably did set a slightly higher high by like $2 or whatever, but broadly speaking, this topped out at the same level, so it is a double top, and I think that does make it quite dangerous if we do end up dropping quite low now. FORFLIES, the thing is that if you think like the majority is thinking the same, price will not go down. Then wrong, actually. If you think like the majority, you usually end up making a lot of money. You just have to think like the majority before they start thinking like that. And so, you know, like everyone thought if Bitcoin rises above $20,000, we'll probably pump up really, really high, right? Am I right or wrong? Can you just write this in the comments? Did you believe this or did you not believe this? And obviously, you know, almost every single one of us believed that Bitcoin would pump if it goes above 20K, and so it did, and it pumped with a lot of velocity, with a lot of force, because nobody wanted to sell their Bitcoin and everybody wanted to buy. So being a contrarian is good. There are also instances where you know, again, like another very, very good potent example that we all remember is, or that many of us will remember, is this big dump that we had from the $6,000 range. Everyone got very comfortable at the 6K range, and I mentioned that if we did end up breaking below this, we'd probably dump very, very low, just because a lot of people are going to lose faith in Bitcoin and they're not going to want to hold Bitcoin anymore. You know, it's been consolidating sideways for a very long time. It's making people feel like shit, and then it takes another leg down. That's going to shake a lot of people out. And so it did. Nobody wanted to buy, so the price just went down. And this is where, you know, there are nuances to it, Roops. Obviously, you want to predict this before it happens. But, you know, trying to be a contrarian just as like a fashion statement, which, let me be honest with you guys, most of you do. You know, not even you guys as FORFLIES viewers, but just most crypto traders do. Like, they just try to be a contrarian because it's fashionable and they think it'll be right. And I understand where it's coming from, but it's not really the point. You just wanna be thinking what everyone else is thinking just a couple days in advance. That's the whole strategy. So over here, 60% profit pulled in VIP on that dump. Very, very nice. And actually on this pump above $20,000, I traded a beautiful long position up here, closed nearly a 4 times gain. Did the same thing trading roughly this gap up here, again nearly a 4 times gain on Bitcoin right there. So very, very profitable trades, keeping these things in mind and trading what I like to call, once again, those trading vacuums, those low liquidity zones. Let's see what else we've got in the comments. I actually want to see how many of you agreed with me there. Everyone thought that we'd pump up, right? I'm sure that would. I'm sure that's most of you. I mean, it's. Yeah, that analogy about the the disease was inappropriate, but here you go. FORFLIES has no filter. I get myself in a lot of trouble sometimes. Because I don't have a filter, but I know that you love me for it, so I'm not changing it. If you appreciate the fact that I don't have a filter, smash up the likes. Let me know. Give me your vote of confidence. How was the pizza last night, Alan? I was so disappointed. Dubai has shut down all the restaurants and stuff at 1 a.m. That's partly why I'm actually leaving early today, because I didn't get my pizza and I want it. I don't even want pizza anymore. I just want it because I wanted it yesterday. I don't even want shisha either, but I didn't get it yesterday, so I was really upset. FORFLIES is the best in the planet. Thank you, David. Thank you, David. I'll take it. I'll take the compliment. Yeah, sure. FORFLIES, the sellers were stronger on Elon's pump because the buyers were also highly driven into the purchase with the idea to dump it at the peak. You're reaching with that statement. You might be correct, but I really feel like you're making a pretty big assumption there. FORFLIES, what percentage of my portfolio is in Ethereum? Very little, honestly. I just trade these coins. The only other cryptocurrency that has a significant portion of my portfolio is Swissborg. And by the way, I mentioned to you yesterday that it's probably going to rise up higher, and it did. We ended up topping out at nearly $1. Beautiful. Actually, yeah, pretty much $1 it ended up topping out at, which is absolutely beautiful price action. So this worked out really well. If you want to get in on Swissborg, you want to see how you can buy it and things like that, this is the newest, I don't know if they're a company or whatever, but these are the newest guys I'm working with. And I pick my sponsors very carefully. You know, you only hear about things like Phemex and that's it. You know, it's very rare that I promote anything outside of just my own FORFLIES VIP group and the courses I have, and that's because I will only ever promote the best. And these guys, I love them. I bought a bunch of their coin when we were much lower, and it's, you know, it's real. You know, its price action is healthy, and I spent a solid 15 minutes explaining why it's healthy in the previous live stream. If you are genuinely curious, because this coin, you know, just to put into perspective, has tripled in the space of, and this is not a shit coin either. This is what makes it impressive. It's tripled in the space of 10 days. It's tripled. It's fucking crazy. And the thing that's very impressive about this, in my opinion, is that it's not a shit coin, right? And I broke it down. I gave you the facts, the reasons why I believe that it's not a shit coin, why it is holding these levels really well, you know, because if you look at it, I'm not going to go into it too much because I already said it in the last live stream, but it's held price levels really, really strongly after big pumps, you know, like it trades sideways. It doesn't just dump down completely, you know, like Ripple does, you know, like again, let's actually, let me compare this to Ripple so I can show you what a real shit coin looks like, right? And you'll see this yourself, you know, when I put them side by side, it's impossible to unsee. Ripple right here, daily chart. Look at this shit. You know, it gets a really, really big pump up and it's just down even lower, you know, the next couple of days. You know, give it like 2-3 weeks and it's even lower than where it started. You know, we get really, really big pumps like this and you're down by 50% the same day. This doesn't happen on Swissborg's chart. You know, like we get big pumps here. Look at this. Big pump. Everything is gone within a couple of weeks, you know, within a couple of months. You know, over here, you get a big pump. You do get drawbacks, but it keeps going up as well. And when we get big pumps, it stays sideways as well. These are classic hallmark signs of a healthy cryptocurrency, of a healthy asset, you know, something that people actually genuinely want to buy for reasons other than hype. And so I broke it down in the previous live stream. Please go back to that live stream if you want to hear me talking about it, because it was a very good segment and it's at... the part you want to listen to starts at 1 hour 17 minutes. I remember it specifically because I sent it to the guys who run this because I love them. I met up with them. They have some amazing life stories. They're really, really cool people. And oh my god, that's gonna give me a heart attack. Someone just said thank you for your financial advice. I don't do financial advice, bro. You know how to trigger me. But yeah, no, go back to the previous live stream, the one I did yesterday. Go to the minute marker, 1 hour 17, and you can listen to that. FORFLIES, hi, do you see a symmetrical triangle at the Bitcoin chart without considering the top at 38.8? Let's look. Do we have a symmetrical triangle? I'm going to take your last few questions. I'm going to go through them very quickly now, and then I will head off. Symmetrical triangle, 38.8. Do I see a symmetrical triangle? No. I don't know how to draw that, bro. Maybe you can tell me how to draw that. How can I trade at 16? You probably can't, bro. I really wish I could tell you something different, but legally I don't think you can. When I was trading Bitcoin under 18, I was just risking it. And if I needed to, I was using a parent, but very rarely. FORFLIES, you as a trader should know who has been single-handedly causing all the major dumps. The F2 pool is a huge Bitcoin mining pool. I don't know about that, bro. It's not important for me. I'm a technical analyst. I don't fuck around with looking for reasons to explain what's on the chart. You know, like this is all a display of psychology, and I've proven that to you time and time again. So, like F2 pool or whatever. Like I see so many comments about this. Maybe I'm wrong. I fully accept that there's a possibility I'm wrong and I should actually know about it, but most of the time, these kind of news pieces, they're irrelevant. They're completely unimportant in the market, in my opinion. It's all about the TA, numbers don't lie, and the psychology, because psychology doesn't change. That's why the analysis on this channel has been so accurate throughout this trend for Bitcoin. Just over the past 6 months, you guys have seen my success rate in front of you if you've been subscribed to this channel and a regular viewer. You know, that's why we've done so well, because that psychology and stuff, it doesn't change, it just rhymes. Good time to buy in on ETH. Ah, man, Logan, I can't tell you that. That's asking for financial advice. FORFLIES, do I think this bull cycle will follow a path similar to the previous ones, even though institutional buyers are here in such a big way? Yes, because we're not rising in extremely healthy ways, and institutions don't save markets, by the way. I don't know where this idea comes from, and it's really annoying. It's very misleading when other, you know, whether it is YouTubers, Twitter people, fucking news articles, whatever, when people want you to think that, oh, by the way, my assistant is replying to your messages right now. I see him sending off those messages. So if you want to join VIP, he will send you the information right now if you follow these steps on screen. But, you know, absolutely 100%, you know, institutions will not save a market. They will in fact twist it even more and screw you over even harder. I want to look, big institutions being in the market now. Here's where the big institutions came into the market. FORFLIES just got triggered, and it's not your fault, Brian. It's just the fact that you were misled to believe this in the first place, right? And of course so was I. But let me show you the day, the exact day. I know it off by heart. The day is the 16th of December 2017. Do we know what happened on the 16th of December 2017? Bitcoin set its all-time high at $20,000. That's what happened. 16th of December 2017. It might have been the 17th, my bad. And so if this chart loads, I can show it to you, and we can see what institutional investors do to the market. Because as soon as they came into the market, right here, look at this. As soon as we topped out 17th of December, I believe it was the 16th that institutions started trading Bitcoin for the first time ever that we know of, legally, publicly. This is where they started trading. And the only thing they did was go short on Bitcoin and bet that the price will come down. So what do you mean institutional buyers supporting the market? Like, they're the ones that shorted Bitcoin. And by the way, right now, this is, I don't know if this is insider information, but it's not very well known in the industry. Right now, the institutions are selling Bitcoin, right? Like, well, that's a very broad statement. Some are buying, some are selling, but there is a lot of short selling happening in the market right now, a lot more than previously, where actually the premium in markets like CME has reduced by quite a lot. Let me actually show you that. Bitcoin CME futures, current price 37.1, and CME chart. What is CME trading at? Let's wait for this to load at 37.5. So previously, the premium for Bitcoin on futures, this is where the institutions are, the premium was a lot bigger, which basically implied that institutions really, really wanted Bitcoin. And right now, we can see that they still want Bitcoin more than the average person, because there is a premium here. That's not really what it means, but that's a relatively healthy conclusion you can draw if you don't have a solid understanding of what this means. It's a conclusion that isn't true, but it works for this example. There is still a premium for buying Bitcoin on these future platforms, but it's not as high as it was before. So no, institutions will not save these markets. They came, and the first thing they did was they shorted. Look, this is the day that CME started trading Bitcoin. You've got to be fucking kidding me if you think that institutions can save this market. These are the guys that sold Bitcoin. So again, Brian, nothing towards you. It's just that people will concoct really weird reasons to think that the price of Bitcoin will go higher. And I promise you, big players with big money is not one of them. It's really not. Institutions were buying down here. There are exceptions like Michael Saylor and big prominent names that you're hearing in the news now, and we don't even know how much of them are true because we can't actually verify if they bought at, $30,000 like absolute idiots, or if they bought down here like the real traders who I know of through my OTC connections. These are OTC people, are people who deal in really large volumes. They told me about where the real volume was coming in from, the very smart clients they had, from the rich clients. This is where Bitcoin was being bought, right? And so yeah, you're hearing exceptions in the news that you can't even verify if they're true or not. And to be fair, I can't verify if they're true or not down here as well, but absolutely, I think, this is where the smart money bought. Anyway, it's a tangent, and it's something that's very important because we've got to make sure that we're not believing bullshit, basically. So, yeah, if you do want to get into VIP, the steps are on screen right here. I still see my assistant. We got a lot of messages during this live stream, so just hang in there if you haven't been responded to yet. He is getting back to every single one of you. You have a beautiful voice. Thank you very much. I prayed for it. I think a lot of you guys know that story by now. Any thoughts on BMI, Bridge Mutual? No thoughts, unfortunately. Haven't heard of it. You think we're bouncing from here to 1700? Possible, Samir. Yeah, I think that's possible. Could I look at YFI? I don't really... Fine, let's do it. I don't really want to because I want to end the stream relatively soon, but let's see what else we have in here. Guys, if we can get a final pump on those likes as well, I'd really appreciate that. Would obviously be very, very nice for me. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, then right here, you're getting right into the mix of it now. This is very real, very grounded analysis. And if you want the real stuff, then it's right here on this channel. Please do subscribe if you haven't already. We just passed 65,000 subscribers, which I was very, very happy about. So thank you all for that. And well on our way to 100,000, which we're definitely going to do this year. So YFI, I don't really have any thoughts on this. I think that it could find some support in these kind of areas between 33,000 and 28,000. However, I don't see something super clear on this chart right now, unfortunately. Let's see what else we have. Thoughts on next to them. I looked at Stellar yesterday. It wasn't particularly interesting to me. Let's see what else we have in the comments. Final questions. We love your juicy lips. Did I read that properly? What? Yeah, we love your juicy lips. Thank you. Okay. Weird. I don't want to look at Maker. No, I haven't looked at it much at all in my time. FORFLIES, I actually really believe that Bitcoin could move up really easily without any resistance, although it's much more choppy than I thought. That's reality, bro. I still think it's going to go up, and as soon as we pass the all-time high, if we do, I think it's going to be pretty smooth sailing, blue sky breakouts after that. But reality is it's never as smooth as you expect it to, and when you don't expect it to be smooth, oftentimes it is, and that's just, you know, psychology playing against you. So yeah, something to be aware of. You know, it's completely normal and natural. Very nice channel, not another hype generating clown. Thank you very much. Yeah, the titles and stuff like that, obviously there's a little bit of hype there, but you know, the videos itself, the content, very, very grounded, and that's exactly what we go for. Oh, Phil's here. Shout out to Phil. Great stream as always. What's your choice of pizza you're going for? Obviously, because, you know, I have a pair of balls and I'm, you know, sane, I will get pineapple on my pizza. And then beyond that, I don't know, like chicken or whatever, but pineapple is a must. Sometimes just to reassert sanity back in the world, I will have a pizza just with pineapple. You know, just because we need to make sure that we're grounding ourselves. On an equal note, this next Valentine's Day, I've made it very clear, is about me and not the woman, so I'm taking a stand for the men out there. I'm the one getting the surprise this Valentine's Day. We're putting an end to all this feminist bullshit. Now it's time for meninism. The dude's getting treated right. So here we go. I'm doing it for you guys because I know we don't get enough attention. And I told her, look, you're not being the center of attention this Valentine's Day. It's going to be me. And that's just how it's got to be. We got to, you know... People like me, we gotta save the world, we gotta, you know, level ourselves, we gotta put pineapple on pizza to compensate for those who don't. Very, very strong opinions on this subject. Gary, FORFLIES, how could the Bitcoin price drop all the way to 19K with all the media and Saylor just doing his conference? Gary, it would do it with panic. So, you know, you can't really visualize what that would look like right now because things are pretty happy for Bitcoin. But it's kind of like you asking me, you know, when France was just going through its industrial revolution, and maybe that's not a good example. It's like asking me when the Greek Empire or even the Roman Empire was at its peak, and you know it stretched all the way to London and across the Mediterranean. How could the Roman Empire possibly collapse? Because there's, you know, and you said Michael Saylor in the conference. Well, you know, because they have a lot of money and they have a big army and they have loyal followers and stuff or whatever. But things change, and when they change, it can crumble really, really quickly. So I 100% believe that, you know, because we've seen that a lot. There's always reasons that you can say, how can Bitcoin possibly crash from here? It's just that as soon as fear sets into the market with one big dump, that could be it. You know, it could be one big dump that takes Bitcoin in one day. Because this is what happened over here. You know, let's pay attention to this really quickly so I can highlight to you exactly how this looks. You know, it only takes one big dump to trigger a lot of panic, and then we end up going significantly, significantly lower. Bro, why am I sounding British and American at the same time? It's because my childhood was spent online, and I basically grew up all sandy cheeks. I'm waiting to get blown. What's going on in the comments today? But I don't get it. But where to trade Swissborg? There's a link in the description where you can find out where you can trade Swissborg. But right here, look, so we got this initial really big pump, and then it started triggering panic. We got another really big pump, and then I think this was the really big panic drop right here. This candle went very, very low. It started off at 38,000, and this candle stretched all the way down to 33,000. So in one candle, we dumped by $5,000, which was nearly 20%, maybe something like 17%. Big dump happening in just one candle over here. This is where we get one initial very big pump that happens very quickly, and then panic sets in the market, and we dropped much lower. So from this point onwards, from this high at $38,000, we ended up going as low as $30,000, which was a 19% drop, right? And so I think a lot of that is panic. And in a situation like this, you ask the same question: how can we possibly drop? Well, because people are panicking now, and this good news that you see, it doesn't really apply in the market when there's panic and fear. Because there's always been good reasons for Bitcoin to pump up. You know, throughout its entire history, when Bitcoin went from 20K down to 3K, there was still good reasons for Bitcoin to go up, and it wasn't going up. And that's because of the psychology in the market. Do I think the MicroStrategy pitch to 1,400 public companies will affect Bitcoin in the coming months? Joe, you know, it's always possible, and I'm super happy to be wrong about this because I have investments in Bitcoin, but cheap vlog saying I am his financial advisor. I don't know, I quit. But look, obviously it's old white guys and they've never heard of Bitcoin. They don't understand how Bitcoin goes. Obviously it's going to, you know, bring money into the market, or it's going to make money interested in the market, but these kind of people, they buy on the dips, you know, like I can't stress this enough. Even during uptrends, you know, they buy during accumulation periods. This is where big money, where smart money buys. So even if they pitch Bitcoin to 1,400 public companies and, you know, half of them or all of them buy Bitcoin, they're not just going to market buy Bitcoin up to $60,000 and then let you get rich. You know, like, I don't know where this fantasy comes from where the big companies are going to make you, the small guy, rich. Like, we all know this isn't true, right? And so they're going to buy when Bitcoin drops by massive amounts and it's in an accumulation period, and you are scared shitless that the trend is about to reverse and you think it's going to go very, very low. That's where they are slowly buying in a way that doesn't wake up the market. And then when the market pumps up like this, they're going to start saying, oh, I just bought a lot of Bitcoin. Now I'm interviewing this guy. Now I'm pitching it to these guys. You know, let's be honest. Michael Saylor isn't here to make you rich, okay? Like, come on, you know, we're better than that. We know this, you know? Like, these guys, they're not here to make you rich, and they're going to do everything they can to get, if they genuinely want to buy Bitcoin, even after it's already doubled its previous all-time high, they will only do it at times where, you know, like, you're not really going to notice it because it's going to be during slow accumulation periods, kind of like, well, this one was distribution, but, you know, this was very much an accumulation period. This is where smart money would be buying. So I think that's very important. Am I a totally naked trainer? No, I prefer my jacket, but I don't use the RSI indicator. No, it's just there. FORFLIES, what about Ether bearish divergence on the daily? It's got a bearish divergence and it's just broken the all-time high. That's what about it, you know, like, that's how irrelevant it is in my opinion. I don't really have an opinion on that, unfortunately. What is the book that you would recommend for a beginner? Catalan, I never make recommendations, but the book I loved as a beginner was called Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets. Oh, Ethereum's pumping now very nicely. So now it must be at, yeah, something like a 60% profit as I speak to you. The book Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets by John Murphy, and the link to that is in the description down for you. I'm going to go through whatever final questions we have, and then we're done. FORFLIES, missed the start of the stream, got to rewind it later. Yeah, go ahead, man. It was a very good stream. You want to hear it from the beginning. Chicken and pineapple, yes, sir. Never anything else. I'm going to really rush through these questions now. What else have we got? What is the price going long term then? If no big money is coming in, sounds like we should be shorting the market. So not necessarily. It's more so that, look, big money doesn't need to come into the market to pump us higher. This is really important. We don't need big money to pump the market higher right now, because nobody wants to sell when the price is going up. And so if overall supply is low, look, if there are only 5 Bitcoins worth altogether like 150K, 160, whatever 5 Bitcoins are worth, 200K US. If there are only 5 Bitcoins being sold, and, you know, the asking price that one guy wants to sell it at is 40,000, the next one is 45,000, the next one's 50,000. The price of Bitcoin will go up very quickly, but they're not actually selling large amounts of Bitcoin. And that is what's happening right now. And we have evidence of this. We can see it really, really clearly. I've shown it to you with the volume. It's perhaps a little bit less obvious now, but compared to the volume that we had previously on the chart, and by the way, volume here was manipulated on Coinbase, so this isn't actually a good display for you, but we have evidence of this where volume is not as high on this uptrend as it was previously. And you know, that I think is a, you know, big part of it is because people just don't want to sell, but that doesn't, you know, that means that, you know, if there's only 5 limited edition Mercedes convertibles, you know, or DeLoreans left in the world, and they're each being sold at very high prices, it doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, like you need big money, you know, because just one purchase will send the market skyrocketing higher, and you know, that's where the nuances come in with understanding what liquidity means and stuff like that. And if that's something that's interesting to you, just Google the word liquidity, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. FORFLIES, so if smart money bought at 3K, what would be a good price to buy? 3K. Yeah, exactly. 3K would be a smart price to buy. I don't know about right now. You know, I've said it for a long time. I think the last smart time to buy Bitcoin was at $12,000, and this is where I went long on it. I'm sorry, I can't give you a better answer than that. I just don't think I've seen any smart places to buy Bitcoin afterwards. Obviously, 13,000 would have been good. Obviously, 25,000 would have been good. Obviously, 35,000 would have been good too. But you know, it's one of those things where I don't know what to say. You know, like if you were already, it's pointless to talk about that now because the opportunities are gone. So I don't know. It's not really, you know, the best time to buy Bitcoin was 10 years ago, and the second best time is right now. That's a pretty standard answer that most people say, and I agree with that, because my stance is not necessarily I want to buy a Bitcoin at a low level and invest in it. No, I'm an active trader. I'm a young guy. I want to make money. I want to create money that I don't have already, and so I want to trade with it. And you know, that means buying Bitcoin at 37K US or 20K US or 3K or 50K doesn't make a difference, because my plan is to trade it upwards and make exponential profits on it. And of course, that's exactly what I'm showing you all inside of VIP, and like how I aim to do those things. Manpower, yes, yeah. So I've got some people on my team for Valentine's Day. Very based, very based. I'd encourage you guys to go to your girlfriends and do this. We need to start a revolution. Ah, Phil, I'm a pizza chef. Are you seriously, or are you joking? And I love the passion that some people have, whether it's for or against pineapple. A fun hobby while working was to ask people their opinion just to get them wound up. Yeah, it's really fun. Obviously, you know, pineapple is the only right way to go, but yeah, it's it is something I'm passionate about. And actually, I found that attractive people generally prefer pineapple on pizza too. So that's interesting as well. Smash those likes. Thank you very much. Let's get those pumped up. Smash the likes for pineapple. Yeah. If you're sane and you like pineapple on your pizza, smash up the like. Subscribe if you haven't already. Someone said they subscribed, by the way. I think I just missed your comment because there's too many. Good problem to have. I'm sorry I missed your comment. I would have said thank you to you, but I can't see it anymore. Cullen, yeah, I did pray for the voice. I said the story already. Basically, I was getting teased for... I used to have an Indian accent. I was raised in an Indian Pakistani family. I used to have an Indian accent, and I used to, like, before my voice broke, I had a high-pitched voice, and no one really took me seriously because of that. So I prayed to God for a sexy voice, like literally for a sexy voice, and it happened. So yeah, very, very cool. Why are the comments so deprived today? You guys are weird today. Everyone likes pineapple on pizza. I love this. I love this. We're all... See, this is how you guys are FORFLIES viewers. This is it. Because you like pineapple on pizza. Alright, any final questions? This is the best financial advice channel on YouTube. Oh my god. You're killing me right now. Stop it. Why are you guys saying this? Why do you want me to feel like this? I don't get it. Why are you guys so sadistic? DXY pumping, and so is Bitcoin. Who will prevail? Interesting. DXY pumping and Bitcoin. So that's how you know that there is genuine upward price action for Bitcoin right here, and it's not just because the dollar is crashing. I think obviously the dollar is in a pretty weak trend, and it has been for a long time. This is a pretty big pump actually. So I think what Bitcoin is doing is very impressive. You know, it's political as well. Do you think the US will keep its stance as a global power or as a global economic power, or do you think that stance is getting weaker over the next century or the next 5-10 years or whatever? And I definitely think it's going to get weaker. So you know, there's a lot of things, and this is more so a question for you to put forward to yourself. But if you think that's the case, then the dollar will probably crash a little bit, and that can usually only mean good things for investments. Possible to get my opinion on New Cypher? Unfortunately, no, because I've never heard of it. New pineapple on pizza guy. Yeah, you guys love it? Alright, I'm doing it. Just subscribed and liked. Bitcoin Cash looking good. Bitcoin Cash never looks good, but thank you for subscribing and liking the video. Liking the live streams. You guys like my lips? What's going on today? I don't get it. I really don't. Anyway, will there be a Valentine's pump? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think Valentine's Day has anything to do with the market. No pineapple on pizza? Alright, you can leave, Tammy. I'm sorry. Goodbye. Yeah, most of you guys like it. Most of you are normal. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go now. It's been a great live stream. Thank you all very much. You've really got me interested in that pizza now. So I'm going to go ahead and sort that out. And I don't know where my car is. Oh, fuck. I think my car is somewhere else. Okay. So I'm going to get going. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you have, you know what to do. Smash up the likes one final time. I've already looked at Chainlink, but very quickly my analysis on Chainlink is I think it'll go... I think it'll probably pump up soon. That's basically the shortened analysis of it. And yeah, so I'll see you guys all in the next one. It's been a beautiful stream. Thank you all for tuning in. It looks like it worked. I asked you guys to like the video a little bit more aggressively today, and we had higher viewership today as well. So I think we did, if I'm not mistaken. We might have, yeah. So thank you all for your support as usual. It's much appreciated. It doesn't go unnoticed, and that's exactly why I keep coming back for these live streams. I'm sorry if I made you hungry. You guys made me hungry yesterday. And now I'm returning the favor. I have a nice voice. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I try. We're in the UK from London. Alright guys, you have a great day. I'm going to see you later. I'll catch you all in the next video. Bye-bye.